This sport is sponsored by eBay. Padres got a big victory last night, winning the series against the Angels. They will be hosting the Mariners this weekend in rivalry week. And then tonight in the NBA, the Thunder and Nuggets, Game 6, potential closeout for the Thunder in Denver. That game will get going at 5:30. Oklahoma City is favored to do so in Vegas by 4.5 with the point total set at 217.5. Swapping out your tires, there's nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
Yeah, let's get it going on a Thursday. Welcome in, everybody. San Diego Sports 760. My name is Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long. We're with you till 2 o'clock today, and we got a couple of very, very special guests joining the show today. Coach Kentera will have his usual Thursday appointment on this show. That's coming up at 12:30 today. We'll chat with the coach about all things San Diego Padres. And we said it yesterday. We said, you know what? I'm going to send a text. We'll see if it happens. This man is elusive. I haven't heard from this man in a while, but I'm just going to send a text and see what happens. Text received, text answered. Ernie Martinez coming on the show today. Dude, Ernie Martinez, I haven't talked to him in way too long. One of my favorite people I've ever worked with in this industry, has the laugh that can cure diseases, has one of the greatest laughs you'll ever hear in your life. And Ernie Martinez is going to be on the show coming up in hour number 2 today at 1:30. We'll talk some pods with Ernie. We'll talk some life with Ernie. I'm sure he's going to have some nuggets of wisdom to sprinkle out there for everybody. But I cannot wait for that. So again, 1:30 today, Ernie Martinez jumping on the show today. 12:30, Coach Kentera jumping on the show. I think we have the San Diego Radio Hall of Fame.
We do.
On the show today.
We got Kentera today. We got Ernie. We got Hartman tomorrow. I mean, this is like San Diego legacy, San Diego history on our show.
San Diego royalty coming on the show over the next 2 days. Can't wait for it. Love all these guys. Can't wait to chat with them about what's going on with the Padres, who got a nice win last night. 5-1 over the Angels. Bullpen held up extremely well. The two guys who struggled a few nights ago, Alec Jacob and Robert Suarez, were both fantastic last night. Randy Vasquez threw a bit of a gem last night after just a real doubt coming from Sammy Long yesterday during the show.
I like how you were the first one to doubt him, and then it becomes my fault.
I can't imagine.
Fletch has a very selective memory that about a lot of things.
Randy Vasquez, very good yesterday. Pitched very, very well. And Xander Bogaerts with 2 outs. And this was early in the game, right? It was first inning. Xander Bogaerts hits a 3-run shot out into left field. A good day for Bogey. And then Lockridge with 2 outs in the 8th inning gets another couple of runs that the Padres didn't need, but they will always take. A good night for the Pods out at Petco Park. Day off today. And then tomorrow, oh my God, it begins. Oh, it's a big deal, Sammy Long. Tomorrow begins rivalry weekend in Major League Baseball.
Rivalry weekend against the, drum roll please, the Seattle Mariners.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. It's finally here. The Dodgers are playing the Angels. Can you even believe it?
Dodgers Angels, that is a hot ticket right there.
Look, we kind of make fun of rivalry weekend in Major League Baseball because it's not really a thing. Teams aren't even playing their rivals, but the Vetter Cup stuff is pretty cool that the Padres and the Mariners are doing. Hopefully a lot of money gets raised. Hopefully a lot of money gets donated. Maybe Eddie Vedder makes some sort of appearance, but it is a cool thing that they're doing over the next few days, but we're going to continue to make fun of it. Just know that we know that money is going to a good place for this.
Oh, I hope there's a gazillion dollars raised. I'm just saying, you know how I feel. We've talked about this last 3 days. I think it's dumb that this is the rivalry week, but it is what it is. I don't control the schedule.
How about Rich on YouTube already? Ernie Martinez and Coach Kentera are the legends in this town. Yes, they absolutely are. You're going to hear them both over the next 2 hours
100%.
Right here on the Fletch Zone. And if you want to watch us today on YouTube at San Diego Sports 760, on X at Fletch and Sammy, give us a follow, give us a subscription. We would love to see it. And if you're new here, we start off every show the same exact way. We start off every show by doing something called the Big Three, where Sammy Long takes us through the top stories in the world of sports. Tons going on in sports today. Sammy, let's get it started.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
We got a lot going on, Sammy. We got a couple playoff series last night. One of them ended. One of them will continue because you called it. The Celtics got to win. But where do you want to start with the Big Three?
Yeah, I'm actually having trouble. We have so many stories today. It's like hard to pick one. Let's start with the NFL schedule release because there was super exciting. All the NFL schedules are out.
Do you like all the videos the teams do?
We're gonna get to that later. I have some problems with that, but we're gonna say that for the end of the show. So per CBS Sports, the Steelers and Jets play in Week 1. Aaron Rodgers' former team, the New York Jets, and then his possible future team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. NFL Vice President said a Week 1 matchup would have been nationally televised if the QB was signed. Is Aaron Rodgers still marketable?
Yes.
Do we care? We've seen.
Okay, no, but serious question here. Pause your thought. What quarterback have we talked about more this offseason than Aaron Rodgers?
I know, but they put the Jets on every primetime game 2 years ago when he got there. He got injured. That's not his fault. So all the games were duds. Last year, they gave him a gazillion primetime games, and the Jets were terrible.
But marketable doesn't just have to be for good things. You could be marketable for a bad reason. The annoyance of Aaron Rodgers is ridiculously marketable. So 1,000% he is still marketable, still catches eyeballs, still catches conversations. That's part of being polarizing, man. People can pick a side on Aaron Rodgers. I love Aaron Rodgers, the football player. I think he's fantastic. I think he had one of the most special careers you will ever see. Had. Past tense. But Aaron Rodgers, the person, ridiculously polarizing. You could come up with a million topics of conversation about him. He is absolutely marketable.
I'm just tired of seeing Aaron. I mean, who knows if he's even gonna be there. I genuinely don't. I'm tired of this. I'm glad it's not prime time. I don't understand why. Why does Aaron Rodgers not good anymore? Like 10 years ago, 100%. Aaron Rodgers is one of the most exciting football players to watch when he was in his prime. I don't really get it now. I don't understand what this whole Aaron Rodgers love is, but I guess it sells tickets.
What if he's been working his ass off? What if he's been doing some ayahuasca trips to really get himself in the right mindset coming into this season, and he goes out there and we see, when was his last MVP? 2020, 2021? Somewhere in there?
Somewhere in there.
What if we see that Aaron Rodgers come out this year and lead the Steelers to a AFC championship game? Come on, Sammy. Have a little faith.
Where is Aaron right now?
Probably at a darkness retreat.
Oh, look at him go. Sammy Long, well done.
By the way, I spent an hour this morning recording drops. So there's going to be a lot of drops throughout this show, and I hope you understand them. If you don't, just hit us on the text
That
line.
one's a good one. That is Key and Peele.
So this one, kind of odd. Second story, out of the NFL, Caleb Williams came out in a book that he did not want to go to the Chicago Bears. In fact, him and his dad were trying to get around going to the Chicago Bears, possibly signing with the CFL. Or the UFL, the United Football League, and he wanted to go to the Vikings. They will match up Week 1 on Monday Night Football. What do we think about this?
So this is Seth Wickersham's new book. It's called American Kings, a biography of the quarterback. And Caleb Williams' dad, Carl Williams, is quoted in this book talking about how they were trying to circumvent via the legal system the way that the NFL drafts players, which can be considered illegal, actually, believe it or not. Because, Sammy, if you were coming out of college and iHeartRadio said, Sammy, we really like you. We're going to draft you, but you have to spend the next 4 years of your career in Wichita. So that's kind of what the point that lawyers have made about the NFL draft in the past, but no one's ever really made enough of a stink about it to make it happen. It sounds like the Williams family was going to make a stink, and they were going to cite Mitchell Trubisky. They were going to cite some other Bears quarterbacks, saying that the Bears are where quarterback careers go to die. And you can't really argue that point. Now, Caleb Williams, is he the guy to change that narrative? So far, it's up in the air. We'll see.
Well, I don't. Okay, I'm as a USC.
Justin Fields was the other one that was named, by the way.
As a USC fan, my whole life, I've always had kind of a soft spot for Caleb Williams. I don't really understand this, though. I mean, if you didn't want to go to Caleb or go to the Bears, why didn't you just say that? Why didn't you make a big stink publicly like Eli did back in the day? I mean, that's what caused that whole draft with Rivers and Eli and Big
Rivers
Ben.
Would have never been a San Diego Charger.
Never would have been a San Diego Charger. It would have looked completely different. So I don't know why Ben Johnson apparently told him, we're going to take you no matter what. But we would have seen if he pulled a Jim Kelly in the 90s, would they actually have taken him? Knowing that, especially because Jaden Daniels, the quarterback class last year, was so loaded. Caleb was the surefire number one pick because of what they did in college, but Jaden Daniels looks like an absolute superstar. Drake May looks like he's going to be really good. This is odd coming out in a second season where there's a lot of expectations. New head coach. Ben Johnson was on Colin earlier. This is some weird questions he's got to answer for. I mean, going into the season, it was kind of a make or break season.
Now, the good news for Caleb, these quotes did not come from him. They came from his dad, which he can always just shift the blame up. But if we're believing that Caleb Williams had nothing to do with all of this, of course not.
What is it with dads and professional athletes? I feel like we've heard more about dads and professional athletes in the last 5 years than we have their entire life.
It was LeVar Ball who kicked it off, man.
John Morant's dad. I mean, it's crazy.
Who's the Tyrese Halliburton's dad?
Tyrese Halliburton's dad. I mean, it's like It's like just because you're a family, you're not
Ricky
an athlete.
Bobby's dad. God, he got out there in the public eye when Ricky was starting to win all those races.
Yes.
All of a sudden, he came back and he was
You're
like,
not first, you're last. Son.
"Yeah."
Hey,
Since you mentioned Phillip Rivers, real quick, there's a picture going viral right now of Phillip Rivers, his backyard in Alabama. He had a 50-yard football field built with Nuke Cheppy, which is what he always used to wear on his hats, which means, what is it? It's Now I Begin. That was always Phillip's phrase throughout his career. It is the most badass looking football field you'll ever see. You can find it on social media. I'll try to retweet it during this break. Next.
Heading to the NBA, Boston Celtics stay alive, crush the New York Knicks by 25. It was a close game at halftime, but a pull away in the second half. They'll be going back to the Garden tomorrow night for a game 6. Are we feeling any different about this series? Do we think the Knicks will close this out, or was last night a wake-up call?
I think that, Sammy, you were 100% right about last night. I think the Celtics got out to a little bit of a lead, and the Knicks sort of started to fold a little bit. And they were fine going back to Madison Square Garden to hopefully win this thing. Now, the Warriors kind of fizzling out without a fight. That was sort of tough to watch. There wasn't a whole lot of fight with the Golden State Warriors yesterday. And it's unfortunate because you think, if they would have just forced one more game, Steph comes back, maybe this is a whole different storyline. So I actually took more away from that game and the lack thereof fight from the Warriors. But the Knicks, I do think will be fine. They just need to get it at home in front of that crazy-ass fan base.
Yes, I think the Knicks will win Game 6. If they lost Game 6, that could be a problem. Going back to Boston, that'd be a tough place to win in a Game 7. But I do think they win in Game 6. I don't think Luke Cornett has the same. I mean, that was kind of an outlier last night. Derek White was fantastic. Jaylen Brown gave us a push on long shots with 26 points. And Luke Cornett came off the bench because Porzingis has been dealing with an illness and looks like, Charles Barkley out there. I mean, unbelievable. I never seen anything like that. I don't expect that to happen on the road. I think that not having your second star closer in Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown will come back to bite them at the Garden with the crowd. To your point about the Warriors, it was a little bit of a bummer. That series was just kind of a dud because it was never healthy.
It was like 15 minutes into Game 1 that series became a dud.
Like, I can't tell what I think about Minnesota because Minnesota is going to the Western Conference Finals. Give them credit. They took it to my Lakers. But the Lakers didn't have any size. The Warriors have even less size than the Lakers had, but they are used to playing like that because Steph Curry, but Steph Curry's not there. So, like, I could see. I think if they got Denver in a series, I think that'd be a good series. I think Oklahoma City mops Minnesota.
Yeah, did you see Steve Kerr's quotes after the game? Because I really didn't like it from Steve Kerr, who does a pretty good job usually, but he was saying, I'll paraphrase it because I don't have it up in front of me, but Steve Kerr was essentially saying, look, if we had Steph Curry all these games, we had a title shot for sure, and we probably would have won this series. And all right, Steve, everybody knows, obviously, if you had Steph Curry, things would be different. But at this point, complaining about it, you got to be better, dude. Everyone deals with injuries. The Celtics don't have Tatum right now. So it's a little out of touch for Steve Kerr, I thought.
They were complimentary of Minnesota. Some of those comments, I think it was just saying it would be a different series. But I do think I love Steve Kerr. He's a fantastic head coach, but the Kuminga thing is interesting. I mean, Kuminga can ball. We've seen that in games 3, 4, and 5. And you didn't play him all year because you said he wouldn't fit. Well, I mean, I know Curry's not there, but he was balling in the series, and you needed young talent. You needed young legs. You wonder if Kuminga could have played a little bit more in the regular season.
I think so.
Got them a better seed. I think there's some question marks. I don't know if it's a personal relationship thing, but he could get shipped out in the offseason for a lot of picks.
How about this? Last night, SDFC with a big win at home over the Colorado Rapids. This Saturday, they will play a game, and they're hosting Kids Night out at Snapdragon Stadium this Saturday against Kansas City. Probably Sammy's a big fan of Kansas City.
I'm an SCFC fan. What are you talking about?
I love the Chiefs. I love the Lakers. You just pick whoever's good. Kickoff set for 7:30. Fan Fest will begin at 4:30 this Saturday with tons of kids, activations, and including craft stations, inflatables, soccer activities, and more. First 25,000 fans are going to receive community-colored shoelaces courtesy of the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance. You can get your tickets at sandiegofc.com/tickets, or keep on listening for a little bit because we got a pair of tickets to give away on the show today here on San Diego Sports 760. All right. Coming up next on the Fletch Zone, Sammy Long has been working hard today since about 10 a.m. this morning. I saw Sammy when I was doing my morning show, which doesn't usually happen. We're going to find out what he was working on coming up next on San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Download the Prize Picks app today. You're going to get a $50 bonus if you use promo code Fletch. And when you download it, use promo code Fletch. You can start taking advantage of everything that Prize Picks has to offer, including community plays, Taco Tuesdays, Flex Fridays. The promotions are what puts this app ahead of the rest. I've played them all. Prize Picks is the only one I've ever stuck with. I've been with them since November of 2023. And in that time, I've cashed out just over $4,900. If you want to do the same, download the app today. Use promo code Fletch. Big Marsh, who has been on the show a couple times over the last couple of weeks. Big Marsh is our newest employee here at San Diego Sports 760. You know what he did was he downloaded the Prize Picks app. He used promo code Fletch. And last night, Big Marsh hit a big win, baby. That was a $250 win for the big fella. Good for Marshall. We're always happy to see that. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use promo code Fletch. And just like Big Marsh, you can be a big winner. So download it today. Coming up at 12:45, we'll have a brand new lineup for you to put into Prize Picks. That can be your $5 lineup that gets you the $50 bonus. So download Prize Picks. You got about 20 minutes to do so, and we're going to give you a lineup coming up at 12:45. Download Prize Picks. Use promo code Fletch. Get the $50 bonus and run your game all season long on Prize Picks. We'll pay you to listen here on San Diego Sports 760. No shame in our game. We got 13 chances for you to win $1,000 every single weekday with the bonus bucks giveaway every hour from 6 a.m. through 6 p.m. Listen for the keyword, then enter it at sportssd.com. Little kickstart my heart. Sammy Long, reminder, this needs to be the intro music for Steve Hartman every time he joins the show. It's his favorite song of all time.
It is.
Oh yeah, he loves it. He loves telling you all the stories.
I will never not play any Crew. So that's one of my favorite bands of all time. So
Kickstart My Heart is Steve Hartman's numero uno. Speaking of Steve Hartman, he's going to be on the show tomorrow. But today, Coach Kentera coming up in about 10 minutes. He's going to talk some Padres with us. Then coming up at 1:30, my guy, Ernie Martinez.
Ernie.
You'll laugh that this entire beautiful America's finest city knows. What's up?
Do you know that we have had more people come into the studio because they've heard that Ernie's on? Of any guest we've ever had and go, Ernie's on? Ernie's on?
Dude, he is the most well-liked person in this building that's ever walked through this
He's
building.
the most genuine dude you've ever met in your life. Like, the person he is on air is the exact same person he is off.
Except he might just be like 10% less laughy on air, which I've always told him, Ernie, more laughing. More laughing. It's the best noise anyone can ever make. So Ernie Martinez and that wonderful laugh coming up at 1:30 today. Plenty to get to in the meantime. First of all, Xander Bogaerts' home run last night. We're going to take our wins when we can get him. He's hitting like 240 on the year, but if Xander's hitting RBIs, which he does have a lot of this season, we're going to be happy with it. Sammy, do we have a little Don Orsillo of the call on Xander Bogaerts' home run in the bottom of the first inning from yesterday? Let's hear from Don.
It's the movement, too, that gets you. 3:10 to deep left. It is back, and bogey goes boom! 3-run home run for Xander Bogaerts. Padres shoot up out to the 3-0 lead.
Bogey goes boom. I like that a lot. When Xander Bogaerts is hitting home runs, this team is going to be A-okay. I think he's hitting 240 on the season. Manny Machado's hitting like 340 on the season, which Manny's been on an absolute tear lately. I believe they have the same number of RBIs. So if Bogaerts, if the only time you're going to hit is when there's runners in scoring position, that's fine, dude.
Yeah, last night was a good win because Vasquez performed very well. He was really good on the night, and Bogaerts getting right as he has been the last few weeks, but kind of came up short in that Yankee game, but was big last night. And I was really impressed because we talked about this yesterday. Saturday, big 21-0 win. Lackluster performance on Sunday, really lackluster performance on Monday. Huge Fernando walk-off on Tuesday. You're wondering, how are they going to respond? How are they going to win the series? Because it's great these moments where you crush teams, but at the end of the day, beat a team 21-0, but losing the next day, it's still 1-1. I was really impressed with how they kind of bit down the mouthpiece, to use a boxing term, and really kind of got through. It was nice seeing the bullpen be very effective late in that game and shut that thing down. And heading into, you should win the series against the Angels. They did that, and now onto a pretty good Seattle team as well.
Rivalry weekend, baby.
I mean, it's people are like, it's a big deal.
Disturbing trend with the Padres that I've noticed over the last week, and I don't know that anyone's really talking about this, but on nights where Jackson Merrill's going like 4 for 4, Padres lose. On nights where he's going 0 for, Padres win. I don't like that a lot. Can we start backing up Jackson Merrill a little bit? We don't only need to win on games where he plays bad.
Our very own Darnay Tripp, I saw a tweet by him that the Padres go as SDFC goes. There was something. I'll pull it up for everyone.
That was pretty cool last night. You had 2 sellouts in San Diego in 2 different locations. One in Mission Valley, one in the East Village. San Diego, sports town. Well done, all San Diego fans.
100%.
All right, Sammy, before we get to Coach Kentera, you've been working hard since about 10 a.m. this morning. You want to tell everyone what you've been doing?
So I got in here early because I didn't really have a lot to do this morning. So I was like, you know what? Let's just head into work. Let's be dedicated to the job. You know what I mean, Fletch? Saw the boys this morning, them crushing their rock show as usual. And
over on 101.5 KGB every morning, 6 to 10 a.m.
I thought I should just record drops because Fletch gets a little mouthy at times. So I thought that if I had some drops to just kind of counteract. So the computer, as Fletch would like to say, is like the third voice on the show.
I've always said that.
You've always said that.
All right, so what do we got?
Well, see, you want me to play them all right now.
I want them to kind of get introduced so it's not jarring when it happens just in the middle of nowhere. I like the AA Raw one from earlier. What else we got?
Yeah, we got see if you can recognize these movies.
Okay. Scarface.
You want me to call Coach and get him?
I'm afraid! All right? You want to hear me say it? You want to break me down? All right, I'm afraid.
Oh,
Do you really not know what this is?
No, I do know it. Oh
no.
What is it?
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, I'm blanking.
Fighting movie? Fighting?
That's
boxing?
not Rocky, is it?
Yeah, it is
Rocky.
This is when he's going to fight Clubber Lang, but he's scared because he got his ass beat in the first fight.
It just didn't sound very Stallone. He was talking way too clear there.
Marshall and I had a bet before the show to see if you'll know this drop. Okay, so I'm very curious. I'm guessing no. Marshall, what do you think? You think no?
I'll give him a bit.
He's okay. Marshall's giving me the benefit. Do you know this drop?
I almost spilled my yak on this $200 suit.
That's
No
I don't
idea.
know.
Next Friday. We gotta get you a little more culture.
Friday. but I didn't want to just guess Friday and be like, oh, you just assumed it was Friday. But yeah, I was going to guess Friday.
Pinky, one of the most iconic characters there is.
All right. Do you have any more you want to share?
I'm going to save a few of these because we're going to work them in throughout the show.
All right. Coach Kentera is going to be joining the show coming up in just a couple minutes. So can't wait for that. We'll talk some pods with the coach. And Sammy's going to start using drops all show long from Scarface, from Friday, from Rocky. Hopefully we get some Rambo ones in there. Some more Sylvester Stallone is always a good thing. But coming up next on the Fletch Zone, Coach Kentera joins the show. We're talking pods with the coach on San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey, it's Fletch for Gary Cooper at Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty. Give Gary a call today, 858-376-1299, or visit him online at mountaintrustmortgage.com. And we got Gary with us today because, Gary, you got a new listing to tell everybody about.
I did. I'm pretty excited about this one. It's up in Big Bear Lake and is absolutely beautiful, meticulous, well-maintained property listed at $575,000. It's 992 square feet, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and it has this massive wraparound porch with a jacuzzi on it, and it is unbelievably stunning. It comes with a newly sanded and stained huge wraparound entertainer's deck with beautiful glass railings. This top tier property currently ranks in the top 10% on Airbnb with almost perfect 5-star review status. So it comes with your laundry, washer, dryer, freshly painted interior, new carpet, located in the coveted Moon Ridge neighborhood, just minutes from Bear Mountain Resort, the village, the zoo, the lake. But it is absolutely meticulous. So if you're looking for a second home or maybe like an investment property, this is it. And I'm not exaggerating. So if you have any interest, give me a call. I can provide you with a private showing.
858-376-1299. Again, that's 858-376-1299, or visit Gary Cooper online at mountaintrustmortgage.com. Get yourself up to Big Bear.
This sport is sponsored by Discover. In the NBA tonight, the Thunder will be taking on the Nuggets with a shot to close out the series in Denver. Oklahoma City is currently favored by 4.5 with the point total set at 217.5. And in the NHL, there are a couple games going on. The Hurricanes and Capitals. Carolina leads the series 3-1. They'll be looking to close out on the road, and the Stars and the Jets. Dallas leads that series 3-1 as well. They're currently plus 110 to do so in Winnipeg. Guess what? Discover's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. You heard right, 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face the facts. You're stuck in the past. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report, learn more at discover.com/credit card.
San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long, with you till 2 o'clock today. John and Jim will take over then. How about this? San Diego Sports 760 this weekend, live coverage of the PGA Championship rounds 3 and 4, beginning at 11 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. Tell you, so far, not a great leaderboard, but hopefully day one brings some more surprises as we kind of wind down. Right now, the coach, John Kentera, jumping on with us. Follow him on YouTube at San Diego Sports Talk. You can subscribe there, where the coach gives you updates on the Padres and all sorts of other things going around San Diego. Coach, how we doing today?
Fletcher, doing great. What a gorgeous day in America's finest city. Padre off day, and just enjoying a beautiful day.
You know, Coach, I did take your advice last week. Got out of the studio, got some sun, took my dog on a big, long walk around Mission Trails. And instead of just hustling through the walk, I actually sat on a bench and looked out and was thinking about our conversation. I was like, I need to do this more often. The coach had a good idea there. But how are we feeling about the Padres over the last week? Because since we last talked to you, they've been two different teams. Bullpen struggled for a little bit. Bullpen seems to be back on course after last night. It's been a little bit of a tale of two cities the last couple of weeks.
Well, welcome to a 162-game Major League Baseball season. It's a roller coaster, and, you know, it's pretty amazing. You go back to Game 1 of the Angel series, Robert Suarez had only given up one earned run all year, and that was actually in a non-save situation that night. He ends up getting tagged for 5 earned runs. He goes from an ERA of under 1 to a 3, and then he came back and looked pretty good last night. But, yeah, that's just the way baseball is. And, you know, after Monday night, everybody was jumping on Suarez and, oh my God, what are we going to do? And is he going to be our guy? Well, you know what? Just everybody simmer down. They're back at it. You're going to have these good games, bad games, but hey, the Padres are still playing pretty good baseball. And you got some guys swinging the bat, and Machado's got a 14-game hitting streak. Fernando went through a slump last week, but still during that period was still hitting over 300. Now he's getting his numbers. Sheets is continuing to swing the bat well. You get Merrill back. And I think Padres, once they can stay healthy, I'm not going to be overly concerned, but I was a little concerned about the bullpen. But, again, these guys have been used a lot. And I'm really, if there's one guy I'm concerned about right now, it's Jason Adam. It seemed like almost every night it seems like that guy's coming into a ball game, and we haven't even gotten to June yet.
Coach, going back kind of the last weekend, Stephen Kolek's had a couple of really nice outings. Do you see him as a potential 4th or 5th starter for this team, or is this just kind of spot filling?
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know if Kyle Hart was renting his room down in El Paso by the month or the week or by the day, but he may need to talk to his leasing agent. He may be spending a little more time in El Paso than he originally thought after the way Kolek is pitching. You know, you take a look at AAA numbers sometimes, and unless you see the guy pitch, you don't know if those numbers are real or not. I mean, Kolek had a 7.11 ERA after a really good spring training, and now he's come back. His first start, he went 5 1/3, didn't give up anything. The other night, he ended up against Colorado, and I don't care if it's Colorado or Colorado Springs or whoever. You go out and throw a 9-inning shutout against anybody, even against the local bar Sunday team. That's a hell of an effort. So, you know, he started out 14 1/3 shutout innings right now, so he's definitely going to be in the rotation. And right now he's number 5. I mean, look at Randy Vasquez. Randy Vasquez is really pitching well.
You can find the coach on YouTube at San Diego Sports Talk. Coach, let's chat a little bit about you, Darvish, who just threw a bit of a rehab start, 4 innings, had 4 strikeouts, gave up a couple of runs. But you, Darvish, expectations once he comes back to the big league team, which they're assuming is going to be a short rehab stint in El Paso. What are your expectations for you, Darvish, when he gets back?
Well, you know, I don't know. I guess I haven't worked, Fletch, when I was in college baseball, I guess, and worked a lot with pitchers. I guess I always side on the side of caution. And I know he's had good bullpen sessions. I know apparently he threw the ball well last night. I don't know. I think if it was me, I'd like to see him maybe make another rehab start down there and see if he could maybe it extended out to 5 innings and maybe, 75 or 80 pitches. But the Padres, they'll probably bring him back. And it really, at the end of the day, I don't necessarily think it's the Padres' call. I think it's Yu Darvish's call. You got to trust the guy that has pitched as long as he has. And if you think he's ready to go, great, come on back. But I guess I'm always out to kind of protect the athlete to a certain degree. But I expect him to come back and, they're probably not going to be exceptionally sharp the first time or two, but, he'll get his sea legs. He'll get back in there. And, he is such a pro. I look at him and I look at Musgrove. And I think King and Cease are starting to follow. I think those two guys have learned a lot since they've been here with Darvish around and with Musgrove and the way they try to take care of their bodies and get ready for that next start. And, Yu Darvish, I can tell the fans this. He never goes out there unless he's fully prepared. And what I mean by that, it's not just the bullpens in between. It's the conditioning. It's the recovery after he pitches. As soon as he gets done and gets taken out of a start, and he's in full recovery mode, so he'll be ready for his next bullpen and for his next start. So even though it's 5-6 days in between starts, he's always working towards that next start physically, mentally, and emotionally.
Coach, what is a player, pitcher, or batter that you think we're not talking about enough on this Padre team?
Oh, that's a good question. I think we talk about, obviously, Fernando and Manny quite a bit. And I think Fernando has probably gotten the top marquee to this point. But I think you got to take a look at Manny. Manny, isn't a guy that's going to be the guy that's going to have the microphone always stuck in his mug after the game because, he kind of know what he's going to say. He's been here for a long period of time. But I think Manny, even though he's only got the 3 home runs, he's got 14 doubles right now, hitting over 330. I think we expect him to be good and solid night in and night out, which kind of surprised me. He's already got tagged with 6 errors, but I really like the way he's playing. I think right now he is in a great groove, and I think Fernando has taken a lot of the headlines so far, and I think we need to continue to appreciate what Manny brings to the table. And the other thing that I've always respected about Manny, even before he put on a Padre uniform, is this guy shows up to play every night. When he goes to spring training, he wants to play that year in 162 games. And he's done that a few times. I know the last few years, he's, 158. And of course, last year he got a slow start because of the offseason shoulder issue. But, Manny deserves a little bit more credit, I think, nationally than he's getting right now. Because I think Fernando and the way he plays, very flamboyant and very, he's got a swag about him where Manny just kind of goes along and plays good, solid baseball.
Yeah, Manny's been fun to watch this year. I mean, how great is that to have a Manny Machado type guy, like you were saying, Coach, who wants to show up and play 162 every year when you have a young superstar in Jackson Merrill, who you would love for that to be his embodiment throughout his Major League Baseball career too. It's not necessarily the out loud leadership stuff for Manny, but don't you think that's going to have a huge impact on Jackson Merrill's career?
Absolutely. I think we're very fortunate to have Manny here long term. And again, we don't know how he's going to perform at 39 and 40 years of age, but enjoy it while he's here, where he's at in his career. We got Fernando here for a long period of time, and now we got Jackson Merrill here. So you got 3 great cornerstones. And we can talk about Xander, and people are mixed results on Xander. I think he's doing okay. He's got 3 homers, got as many home runs right now as Manny, and I think it's about the same RBIs, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have the stats.
Exactly the same, right, Coach. Dead even.
Yeah, and he hasn't hit for the average of Manny, but I think he's doing a very good, solid job. I don't think he's flashy and going to make these Ozzie Smith plays night in and night out. But those are the plays that they're great when you make them. But you need to have a shortstop, and that Xander is. You make the routine play. The routine play is the one that beats you when you let a routine ground ball kick up on you and it extends an inning or opens up the floodgates. But he hadn't done that. So, I think he's playing pretty good baseball, and he'll get that average up a little bit. And I think as it warms up, you'll see him drive a few more balls out of the ballpark. And, surprisingly, Fletch, take a look at the catching position. You've got, and I thought going in, it was a question mark. And I still think going forward, maybe it is, but you got Maldonado, who had a great, he tried it once the other night and fouled it off, and then he came back and had a safety squeeze to drive in a run. He's hitting 203, which is better than he's done the last few years. Done a great job behind the plate. Diaz is starting to swing the bat a little bit better. He's done a good job. But really, the spot we need to talk about, and I'm sure AJ's constantly with his pro scouts working right now and evaluating, they got to figure out what they're doing in left field, because left field right now, I think, is a real problem.
Coach, I know you were tight with Buddy Black out there in Colorado. Do you have any comments after he got let go or anything for the Rockies?
I got a lot of comments. I guess, number one, I know how much Buddy enjoys being involved with Major League Baseball and pulling on that Major League uniform night in and night out, and I feel bad that that's been taken away from him. But as a friend, I'm kind of glad that they pulled the trigger where he can have 4.5 months where he can be back here around his family. He's got grandkids now, and he doesn't have to go through all the travel and all the BS to go out and get his brains beat out each and every night. And I'll tell you this, and it was funny, Sammy, right after Buddy got fired, I can't tell you how many text messages I got from people that know me and Buddy's relationship, and they know Buddy, and what do you think's going to happen? I don't know if Buddy will ever manage again, but I will tell you this: any organization, first of all, if Buddy wants to get back into baseball in some capacity, that shouldn't be an issue. I got to believe there have already been organizations reach out to him. Anybody that's been around him for 5 minutes knows the type of man he is. The respect that people all around baseball, including all the guys that have played for him, have for him. You may not always agreed with his decisions when you were playing for him, but he would explain his decisions. And you might walk away mad, but you totally understood. But he's got a lot of friends in baseball. And it was tough for me to watch him have really no chance. Dick Monfort, the owner there, he hasn't made any public statements. I wish he would, but, Warren Schaefer's taken over, and the only thing he's done since he took over is go 0-3 against Bruce Bochy and the Texas Rangers. I wish Buddy the best, and he may be listening because I know he listens to the station. I haven't talked to him yet. I've been kind of laying low on that. But again, a great man, a great baseball man, and a man that I'll always respect.
Well said, Coach. And like always, man, we appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on today. Coach, you got any big plans for this weekend?
Well, Fletch, this weekend it's going to be a little bit light. Now, next week when we talk, I'm going to actually be up in Fullerton. I'm going to be the analyst on the Big West Baseball Championship with ESPN Plus. So anybody that wants to watch college baseball, the Big West Championship opens up on Wednesday with a single game, and then you got double headers the next 3 days, and we'll see if we end up having to play on Sunday or not. But now I'm gonna be doing some color analyst work for the Big West on their college baseball coverage.
Right on, Coach. And we got Ernie Martinez coming up at 1:30 today. I'm sure you got lots of fun memories with Ernie.
Fletch, I'll be honest, I'll make it short. Ernie is one of the finest gentlemen that I ever met or worked with in the radio business. It's that simple. He's like a brother to me. We worked about 25 years together, and you know how radio can be crazy. Ernie Martinez is a guy, no matter if it was at 2 a.m, and we had a few of those nights over the years doing stuff, you could always count on him. He's a great teammate, a great friend, and love the guy like a brother.
Same here, man. All right, Coach, you have a great day and enjoy a little bit of time off before Fullerton next week. We appreciate you every week.
Coach, you're the best.
Fletch, great to have you. And boy, I'll tell you, I put a picture of me and Bruce Bochy up today, kind of a throwback Thursday, and people are out, when are you going to be on the radio? So I gave a good commercial for you and Sammy today. So I know you got maybe some new listeners today.
Love
so
it.
Keep rolling. The ratings are going good. You guys are doing a hell of a job.
Thank you, Coach. We'll talk to you next week. There he goes, the coach.
All right.
on YouTube at San Diego Sports Talk. You get regular updates from him there as well. We're going to take a quick break. Coming up next on the Fletch Zone, Sammy's Long Shots on San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. I know one of Sammy's songs. I was singing this one. Love catching up with the coach. He was fantastic today. I thought that Buddy Black answer was amazing. Good stuff on the Padres, too, from the coach. If you missed any of that, it'll be up on the free iHeartRadio app. Just search the Fletch Zone after the show today. All right, this weekend, San Diego Sports 760, we got live coverage of the PGA Championship, rounds 3 of 4, beginning at 11 a.m. on Saturday and on Sunday. so far, like recognizable names on the leaderboard out at Quail Hollow. I think Victor Hovland is somewhere around 26. JJ Spawn is at 2 under. The leaders are at 5 under. Bryson DeChambeau, I know, is only through like 3 or 4 holes, but what did Rory card earlier today, Sammy?
He carded 74.
My God.
Maybe Rory's just living that best life.
He won the Masters. Now he's just chilling. And you know what? Who can blame him, really? But I would stay away from any sort of golf bets this weekend because so far this tournament's been a little chaotic. Now, I know we're only through like half of day 1, but I'm not liking the look of the leaderboard. I'll just say that out loud. Still, hopefully Saturday, Sunday at the PGA Championship bring lots of drama. You can listen to him here on San Diego Sports 760. Now, every single day at 12:45, we do a little thing called long shots, and Sammy always gets mad at me when I have a lineup that wins that I don't talk about on the air.
Don't even start.
But Big Marsh had a lineup that won yesterday.
Oh, Marshall will celebrate.
Oh, so Marshall we can celebrate, but I'm just the jerk. Is that what's going on here?
Well, yeah, because you're sneaky about it. Like Marshall's just putting in work over there. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like I don't need you to be going against our picks. The thing that pissed me off about last week is that you went against my picks.
But I told everybody I was doing
This is what Marshall celebrated yesterday. Do you know what that's from?
Proud of you, Marshall. That sounds a lot like Braveheart.
No, it's Entourage, Johnny Drama.
Okay, I think Mel Gibson says it in...
No, it's
Braveheart
Johnny
also.
Drama.
Okay, I do. Now that you said that, I know, yes. And I love that show. I'm a big Entourage fan.
Well,
right?
it doesn't sound like you're
I'm
a big
buddies with
Entourage
Jeremy
guy.
Piven, okay, dude?
Just because you have someone on your show doesn't mean you're buddies with
Had him on the show like 10 times over the last 6 years.
Okay, well, I have a question. Why if Jeremy Piven is like a hero of mine, why has he not been on the show here?
Is he really?
I love Jeremy
I could have
Piven.
gotten you tickets to his show last Saturday.
You could have got me
ACC.
tickets?
Yeah. Could have got you VIP tickets.
Marshall.
I didn't
Marshall
know
and I-
this.
Dude, Entourage is literally my favorite show on television. Marshall, same thing. But Entourage is one of the greatest shows of all time. Not even close.
Okay, well, next time he's around, we'll make sure to get him on this show, too. I'm sorry about that, Sammy. I didn't know. All right? Let's hit long shots.
Unbelievable.
Let's see. Underdogs? Nah, that's old. Those with a less than good chance of winning? Too wordy. Wait. Got it. It's time for Sammy's long shots.
I wonder what the other dudes from Entourage are up to these days.
They got a great podcast, Victory the Podcast. I should try to get some of the guys on. Ferrara was on the other day.
That's
Turtle. They got Kevin Conley, E, and Grenier hopped on. But it's Doug Ellen, Dylan, Drama, Connolly. They're the ones that have the podcast. And then Ferrara comes on and all the whole cast, Grenier.
Is Vinny Chase a part of it at all?
He's been on. That's Grenier. But he's not. I'm just saying this.
Vinny Chase was the worst part of that whole show.
Well, that's
Johnny Drama and Ari Gold are the best parts of the show.
Yeah,
Turtle's probably number 4.
Yes.
Honestly, E has some funny scenes, man.
But let's not say that he's the worst.
Vinny Chase is the worst part of that whole show.
70470. Sorry, messed with team. What Entourage character would Fletch and I be?
I'm Turtle. I've always been a turtle.
You think you're Turtle?
I've always been a turtle.
Turtles though, like always scheming behind the scenes.
You don't know what I do behind the scenes, bro.
I know exactly. We have a couple texts about what you're like off air, which I can't wait to get into next hour.
All right. Where are we going today?
Tyler,
did we win yesterday?
We did a push. Brown missed a couple free throws. Edwards hit. It was
But Jimmy Butler didn't even get close. So the answer is no. We did not win.
Well, if you flex played, you did. It's all about perspective, Fletch. Tyler always sends me great picks. Tyler, for some reason I can't pull up your picks right now because it's not on my account. Otherwise, I would include one of yours in there. I'll get you later though. All right, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, more than 30.5 points. I think it's a legacy game for Shai. I think Shai has figured out how to close games. Oklahoma City. The kind of scary part I had with them at the beginning of the year was, at the beginning of the series was, it's like they're more talented than Denver, but do they know how to close? Because at the end of game 1, they completely messed that game up, which allowed Aaron Gordon to hit the game winner. They were fouling right away. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in game 4 is the sole reason why they were able to win because of that, because of him kind of closing down the stretch and money time. I think Shai Gilgeous has a big night tonight in Denver, more than 30.5 points.
30.5 is a lot of points.
Well, it is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
He had 31 the other night. That game you were talking about. That's only one more.
Jamal, and he was slow for a lot of that game. There was no scoring in the first half. Jamal Murray, more than 7.5 field goals made. I think Jamal Murray is going to have a big night tonight. Jamal Murray is going to be the guy. Jokic is gassed. I mean, Jokic, you see him out there. My man's doing everything he can, but, I mean, as we've highlighted, Russell Westbrook, remembered he's Russell Westbrook.
If we're talking about Fat Luka, we need to have a discussion about Jokic, too. All I'm saying.
Yeah, Yeah, but again, he's literally playing the entire game, which Luka was because of JJ Redick in the playoff series. But Jokic is doing everything. He looks gas. I think this is a Jamal Murray. If they're going to win tonight, Jamal Murray is going to have a huge night. It's not going to be Jokic. I think 7.5 field goals made more than on Murray. I don't want to go points. 7.5 field goals made more than from Murray. Then we're going to do a little hockey pick tonight. Okay, we're getting a little bit out of the ordinary. Dallas Stars, Winnipeg Jets, possible closeout game for the Dallas Stars. Dallas Stars were really hurt coming in the playoffs. Most people didn't give them a chance against Colorado because Jason Robertson was out. Some of the stars of that team was not playing. Well, a lot of them are back now. And Winnipeg had the best record in all the NHL all year. They barely squeaked by the St. Louis Blues on literally scoring with 3 seconds to go in Game 7, then winning in double overtime in hockey. Connor Hellebuyck. He's one of the best goalies in the world. He's really struggled in this series, though.
Hellebuyck.
He was Team USA's goalie. He was kind of in the Four Nations face-off. He kept them in this. I think he has a little bit of a rebound tonight. In Winnipeg, 21.5 goalie saves. We're going more than. I think Hellebuyck has a big night. I think the series extends. He goes back to Dallas where they win it in Game 6. So Connor Hellebuyck, more than 21.5 saves. Jamal Murray, more than 7.5 field goals made. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, more than 30.5 points.
That lineup is Hellebuyck, yo. That means I like it. No changes.
Do you have a pick if you had one?
No, I put it in. I submitted it. It's done.
Well, we're just doing a 3-legger.
Congratulations to Marshall on his win yesterday. Congrats to my big brother Alex, who also had a win on Prize Picks yesterday. If you would
Alex like to share his picks?
I know he's very stingy about them.
Just like you, I wonder where he gets it.
Yeah, well, he's my older brother, so I might get it from him. But if you would like to download Prize Picks today, use promo code Fletch. You can use that lineup as your first $5 lineup. That's going to earn you $50 in bonus credits. Sammy, what was the lineup one more time for everybody?
Let me pull it back up. Connor Hellebuyck, more than 21.5 saves for the Winnipeg Jets. Jamal Murray, more than 7.5 field goals made for the Denver Nuggets. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, more than 30.5 points in Denver tonight.
All right, coming up in hour number 2 here on the Fletch Zone. The NFL schedule release videos. We have thoughts on it. First of all, the Jaguars, A++, and we'll tell you exactly what they did. And maybe I'll throw a video of that up on my social media as well. But all around the league, there were all these videos that went out. One video had to get taken down, and it was not the Sabrina Carpenter video, even though there was an argument for that one. We'll tell you what it was coming up next on San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
This sport is sponsored by Macy's Backstage. In the NBA tonight, the Thunder looking to close out their series and meet Minnesota in the Western Conference Finals in Denver. That game has been bet up. It started at 4.5, favored in Oklahoma City's favor, up to 5.5 with the point total set at 215.5. That game will go on at 5:30. In some boxing news, the rematch between Lamont Rhodes Jr. and Gervonta Tank Davis will happen in Las Vegas in August. What will you find at Macy's Backstage? How about essential warm weather styles? Just $30 and under, like dresses, shoes, and bags, men's and even kids' looks. Find the latest trends, new arrivals, and great prices at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
San Diego Sports 760. It's hour number 2 here. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock. John and Jim will take over then. All right, Sammy threw it out to the text line a little bit earlier about which characters we would be in the show Entourage. I like the question. I really do. 858 says Fletch is the annoying producer that makes the movie Medellin. Look, it was a swing and a miss, all right? I made a great trailer out of it. The trailer sold lots of copies, but the movie just never really came together. That's the annoying little kid, the trust fund kid, right? In the show?
Is it the trust fund kid or it's not Billy Walsh? Because Billy Walsh is the director.
I thought it was the trust fund kid, the producer, and then he has Gary Busey at his house in that crazy beach house, and Gary Busey goes crazy.
If you had a little more money, you could be a trust fund kid.
I am not a trust fund kid. I can promise you. No,
you would have the attitude of a trust fund.
I wear a black T-shirt or a old baseball tournament from high school T-shirt every day. I don't think I spend money on anything. 619. Are we not going to talk about Turtle's girlfriend for a while there? Wasn't it Jamie Lynn Ziegler who was in Sopranos?
You know, she told a story that she wouldn't go. She wanted to go on the show earlier, but they wouldn't let her because she was going on the Sopranos at that time. When Sopranos ended, it was like season 5, and then she was supposed to only do like an episode, but they liked her so much that they.
All due respect to her, smoke show. But if we're not talking about Sloane, we're not talking about Entourage.
Well, okay, Sloane's phenomenal.
Got it.
But let's not disrespect Jamie Lynn Ziegler.
No, I love her. She's great.
She dated Turtle in real life. Ferrara.
Really?
Real life, yeah.
Turtle has game?
Yeah, he's on Entourage. Are you kidding me? Being on Entourage and living in Los Angeles?
619 reacting to our interview with Coach says, Coach is living the good life when you can hear the birds chirping in the background. I imagine him sitting at the zoo in the bird enclosure chatting with you guys. Now I do too. Thank you. I did notice a lot of birds chirping in the background with Coach. Let's see. 615. Sammy, what's Fletch like off air? I think it's more of the same.
That's
trying to be pretty transparent.
That's a loaded question. How do we get it? How do we get into that? What is Fletch like off air? I
don't try to change who I am when I get on air.
Marshall's got something to say.
Oh boy.
Fletch is cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Look at that. You hear that? That's a ringing endorsement from Big Marsh on the mic.
Would have went with something else, but yeah.
Yeah, but Sammy's a jerk. 619. I know it's easy to say now, but I tend to differ from your prediction yesterday that the Knicks would close it out. Sammy called it. He said Celtics would win. I thought the Knicks were done yet, or Knicks would close them out yesterday. 619 goes on to say, I think teams who have lost a great player such as Tatum can sometimes create a dynamic situation where other players step up to fill in for the lost player. I think the Celtics are going to win this thing out.
I like the text. I think New York's going to win on Friday, but there is something to that. There's something to the fact that when you take all the pressure away, the roles have flipped. You went from Boston. How do you lose to the New York Knicks? I mean, you're the favorite to win the title, second favorite behind Oklahoma City, but it was a pick 'em, and then you lose Tatum. Now you have no expectations. There's something to be said for when you're playing pretty free, and all the expectations are on New York now.
I feel like Sammy sent this text in from the 858. All the guys on Entourage were pulling baddies on and off the show. That sounds like something Sammy would say.
It's a fact. Grenier dated the girl. Remember the girl that him and Kilmer were after in the one episode? Remember the Earth episode where they're going to buy weed?
Yes.
Yeah. Apparently they were like beefing over her.
So Vinny Chase dated her in real life?
I think so. They were trying to.
619. Fletch's name on Entourage would be Turtle Puddles. Do you know the Puddle story, Sammy?
What is the Puddle story? I don't. Is this Jeremy always sends this in Puddles?
No, I don't think so. But my high school basketball coach, Travis Dale, somehow tracked him down and made him call into the show one morning. And the coach revealed that my nickname on our basketball team was in fact Puddles.
Why?
Because I would draw charges, but I was so sweaty that when I drew a charge, it would take you had to stop practice to clean up the mess that was on the ground. The puddle. So I was Puddles in high school.
That is a beautiful story.
Lots of charges, baby. You need that guy on your team.
You're the glue guy on the team.
You need the glue guy. I'm going to put up 12 boards. I'm going to take 3 charges. And I might only score 6 points, but that's an impact.
It's not about dropping 40 every night. It's about being the guy on the bench, first one up.
Thank you. Right. I was not on. I started, but yeah, you're right.
Well, I mean, starting in Merced is a little bit different than starting in San Diego, but yeah, I got you.
Fair enough. All right, every single day at the top of each hour. By the way, Ernie Martinez coming on the show at 1:30 today. We still have a pair of SDFC tickets to give away for this Saturday's game against Kansas City. So we got lots to get to still on the show, but right now it's time for the big 3 of hour number 2, where Sammy Long takes us through the top stories in the world of sports. Sammy, hit the button.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big 3.
I really do like to think I'm the same on and off the air. I just cuss more often.
No, you are. In all seriousness, you're the same dude on and off there. You're not. You don't put on a front.
I'm a little more shirtless off the air.
I think you're very shirtless on there.
The majority of more shirtless off the air. The majority of my life, whether walking in Mission Trails or sitting at home, there is no top on this button.
Really?
Sammy, where we start?
Hey, you know what? Be proud of yourself.
I'm body positive.
You're body positive. That's what we are here in the Fletch Zone. Body
2025.
Positive. Hey, be less humble, and that plays into being body positive.
Body positivity. It's all we care about.
Guess what? Your favorite person in media, Mel Kiper Jr. Deion Sanders thanks Mel Kiper Jr. for backing Shedeur Sanders as QB1 during the NFL
Is that what
draft.
we're calling it? We're calling it backing?
That's what the alert says.
Should we call it something else? I think I could come up with a few more creative names about what exactly Mel Kiper Jr. was doing to the Sanders family, and it is not names that I could say on the radio during the NFL.
I'll read his tweet. But I love you, my man. You stood on the desk with great balance, 10 toes down, said what you doggone said, didn't flinch. You know what time it was, my man. We're blessed to be right where God wanted us to be. Quote, with opportunity. They forgot I was in the TV entertainment business for 20 years before coaching.
Look, I hope Shedeur is a really, really good NFL player, but I'm not going to call what Mel Kiper did to Shedeur Sanders during the draft process backing him. I'm going to call it something very, very differently.
I'm going to defend Mel. I love Mel Kiper Jr.
I know you do.
I love Mel Kiper Jr. Deion was right on this. Listen, I understand the criticism of the fact that people went a little overboard. I understood the first round when other guys are getting taken, and so much of the ESPN focus is about how Shedeur hasn't been drafted. I get that. I understand where that can be frustrating, where prospects are reaching their dreams. It's all about Shedeur Sanders. Totally understand. But, I mean, he's not wrong. It was the biggest story in the draft. It was a huge story in the draft going into the draft when there was a shot he could be taken to Giants at number 3, let alone, what was it, 144? 144 to the Browns?
That was 155.
It was 155. So it's a massive story. It does feel like it's not even that he just fell. It's that it felt like there was a hit list out for him. It felt like it was a let's tear this kid down bit by bit while the draft's going on, and if it did feel a little wrong to me. Gonna be honest.
All right, what do we got next?
So the Colts are back. The Colts are back in this news here. They apologized to Tyreek Hill for, as part of their schedule release, there's a Microsoft deleted video where they had the Coast Guard coming up and arresting Tyreek Hill.
In Dolphin version in
the video.
It was just an absurd swing and a miss. I mean, the Colts social media department, you talk about swinging for the fences, taking risks. This was a big one. And I'll be honest, it made me laugh a little bit. And if we're being 100%
Tyreek said it made him laugh. He didn't have a problem with it.
Tyreek Hill's been arrested a few times. All right. And so on the video, it shows the Coast Guard pulling up to a Dolphin wearing a Miami Dolphins jersey with Hill on the back of it. And they light him up. The whoop whoop.
Dude, who is approving these social media
That's
things?
The name of the police. Whoop, whoop. And so they arrested the Dolphin Tyreek and immediately took that post down because I'm assuming, who's the GM? Chris Ballard?
Who was in Kansas City, by the way, with Tyreek.
He probably saw it. He said, what the hell is this? And so made them take it down.
Some of these schedule releases are getting a little crazy.
We're going to rank them coming up a little bit later in the show. I thought some of them were really creative. I actually haven't seen the Kansas City Chiefs one. What'd they do?
Champions don't really need to do schedule releases. They release the schedule because they have business to attend. Going to the NBA. What team is under more pressure to not blow a 3-2 series lead? The Oklahoma City Thunder to the Denver Nuggets?
Yes.
Or the New York Knicks to the Boston Celtics with no Jason Tatum?
It's going to be okay. So that does change things a touch, but I would say OKC because coming into this, OKC, they like set some sort of record this year. They had an incredible regular season. They were beating everybody by a million. Denver, honestly, a little bit underwhelming until Russell Westbrook found his groove. I think the pressure is on OKC. The Knicks weren't supposed to be in this position. They're already playing with a little bit of house money. They're up 3-2 on the defending champs, and the defending champs don't have Tatum. That is the only added pressure that the Knicks have right now. Your mic's not on.
That's a problem. It's hard to talk on air when your mic's not on. I'm gonna go with the Knicks because are you gonna get this opportunity again? I think the Knicks are a really good team that's gonna be good for many years to come. But you got to think Boston's gonna be fully healthy next year. You got to think the Cavs are gonna try to reload. Where's Giannis go? I'm assuming he's going west, but the Pacers don't look like they're going anywhere. This is a golden opportunity. I mean, can we really rely on next year 2 20-point comebacks on the road in Boston in games 1 and 2? You cannot blow this series to Tatum. If Tatum was still there, or to the Celtics, if Tatum was still there, I might hear the Oklahoma City because Oklahoma City is going to be good for a long time. And Denver did win a championship a few years ago. The Knicks cannot lose this series. This is a really bad look. They lost in Game 7 in the second round to the Pacers last year. You cannot pull the same thing this year to the Celtics with no Tatum. I'm sorry. It's an abject disaster. And the team is set. They're not really going to be adding anybody. This is the team that they have besides some fringe additions. So it's not like wholesale changes are coming in the offseason. They need to close this thing out at the Garden on Friday night.
All right, we've made them wait long enough, Sammy. Let's give away some tickets right now. If you want to go see San Diego FC this weekend against Kansas City, it's also a big night. It's going to be Kids Night out at Snapdragon Stadium this Saturday night. Kickoff set for 7:30. FanFest will begin at 4:30. Tons of kids activations, including craft stations, inflatables, soccer activities, and more. First 25,000 are going to receive community-colored shoelaces courtesy of the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance. Get your tickets now at sandiegofc.com/tickets. Again, for this Saturday, May 17th at Snapdragon Stadium, sandiegofc.com for tickets. But if you want to win a pair of tickets, call right now. Caller number 7 at 877-767-4760. You are going to that game courtesy of San Diego Sports 760 and the Fletch Zone. If you don't win this time, don't worry. John and Jim will have a pair of tickets to give away on their show today as well. But caller number 7 right now at 877-767-4760. You are going to Snapdragon Stadium this Saturday night. We got a bunch more texts on Entourage, which is one of our favorite TV shows here. We got a couple texts on my nickname in high schools being Puddles. We will read them all coming up next before we get to Ernie Martinez coming up on the Fletch Zone on San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. Download the Prize Picks app today. When you do, you're going to want to use promo code FLETCH, FLETCH. You're going to get a $50 bonus when you play your first $5 entry. Here's what we got going tonight. Shea Gildress-Alexander, more than 30.5 points. Jamal Murray, more than 7.5 points. And Connor Hellebuck, more than 21.5 goalie saves. Download the Prize Picks app. You can make that your first $5 entry to get yourself a $50 bonus. And on Prize Picks, all you got to do is create an entry with 2 to 6 players. You pick their stat projections more than or less than, and you got a shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash on Prize Picks, a free daily fantasy sports app that is tons of fun to play. I talk about the promotions all the time, the Taco Tuesdays, the Flex Fridays. What I don't talk about nearly enough is how Prize Picks puts their users first. They talk about how they have Apple Pay and Venmo and MasterCard now for quick and easy transactions into your bank account this sports season. So if you have a big winner, like our guy Big Marsh on the mic, won $250 yesterday. If he wanted to withdraw that $250, it could be in his bank account in less than 15 minutes. Download Prize Picks today. Use promo code FLETCH. Get the $50 bonus and start running your game just like Big Marsh all season long on Prize Picks. Play some MJ.
Let's let it
Look
rock
at
for a
that.
second.
San Diego Sports 760 here on a Thursday. Thank you for being here. We do appreciate it. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock. John and Jim will take over then. Peter just won those San Diego FC tickets. Congratulations to Peter. John and Jim will have another pair coming up in just a little bit. All right, text line has been popping today. 858 says underrated character was Ari's assistant, Lloyd. Lloyd
100%.
was fantastic in Entourage. In fact, part of Jeremy Piven's stand-up now that he does is talking about how he used to rehearse lines with his mom, who sadly passed away earlier this year. But Jeremy Piven used to have to say all the horrible things that he would say to Lloyd. He would say them to his own mother when she was helping him run lines. And it is the funniest bit on his stand-up that he's been doing. Let's see. 619 regarding Entourage. I love the show. Glad you brought it up as I may rewatch the series. Curious who you think was the best recurring guest on the show. I personally love that they had Bob Saget on, who was always thought of straight-laced America's Funniest TV guy, and they portrayed him as a wild guy, always smoking weed. Bob Saget was great. I'll tell you, one of my favorite just moments where Entourage brought a guest on was Andrew Dice Clay.
Dice Man. Yes.
When Andrew Dice Clay came
Johnny
because
Bananas.
Johnny Drama was trying to get him a part in a movie or something, and then Andrew Dice Clay was wearing his old denim get-up, the cutoffs. Jessica Alba was a great recurring guest on a couple episodes, I think. I don't know, Sammy, who you got?
I got Spade was fantastic.
Spade was great.
Snoop had a great cameo in there.
I honestly thought every time Mark Wahlberg came on, I was like, I know this show is like about you, dude, but we don't need you here.
No, Wahlberg was the best. Did you see? Okay, remember, not to get crazy, but the Harvey Weinstein episode. Remember when they scream at him?
Yes.
They tell a story about that. So this is before everything came out. They did this episode where they kind of said that and made him up. And so he apparently called them and was like, the only reason that was like pissed, screaming at all of them. So the only reason your show's not off the air is because my kids like it. That's what they said on the podcast.
Dude, it is
about
wild. You watch anything from like 1990 into the early 2000s, that first name on the credit scene is Harvey Weinstein. Kind of crazy.
Yeah. What a shame.
Kind of crazy.
I'm going to go back and watch Entourage tonight. The Entourage is fantastic.
Yeah, we're starting it over again. How'd you feel about the Entourage movie?
Great. I don't understand all the hate for that. I don't get all the hate for the Entourage movie.
I mean, I didn't hate it. It'd be like if they made
My favorite episode is when Ari took over the other agency and went in there with his paint gun.
Oh, yeah.
And said, come, tell everybody come kiss the ring.
Classic.
Oh, yeah. When he lights him up.
I've always had a dream about doing that. Not here, though. I like my coworkers here.
You didn't like the movie, though?
I thought it was all right. I was like, if we're going to do a movie of a TV show that was so well beloved, like I wouldn't want an Office movie to come out. You know what I mean? I don't need an Entourage movie to come out. So we'll see. 858. If Sammy gets the next long shots, Fletch has to do his show without a hat.
Yes.
Bald men represent. Dude, the headphones feel so uncomfortable without a hat.
You don't like it? What, get sweaty?
Naked.
You know what you kind of look like? Alex Caruso. With the hat off. Take the hat off and show everyone that you look like Alex Caruso.
I can dunk like him too.
Alex Caruso doesn't dunk.
No, he has hops, man. I saw him dunk.
Alex Caruso gets the defensive mindset going.
You know, we take charges. That's what we do, Sammy. We're mindful players. We got Ernie Martinez coming up in 8 minutes. Again, congratulations to Peter for winning those SDFC tickets. That's for Saturday night. Tickets are available at sandiegofc.com for this Saturday's game. It's going to be kids' night down at Snapdragon. Should be a lot of fun. Before we go any further, we've talked a lot of Padres today. We will continue to talk Padres with Ernie Martinez coming up in just a few minutes. But Sammy's schedule release videos across the NFL. We talked about the Dolphins one a little bit. I am curious if this even needs to be a thing, because obviously teams are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on these. They're making them up like crazy. I don't know if you saw the Chargers one with all the Minecraft stuff.
Yeah.
It seems like
they were kind of the first ones to start doing it.
Yeah, they were. People are putting a lot of work into this. Like the Rams hired Brenda Song, who was a Disney actress when I was growing up, to do like a news anchor report read.
That was pretty creative.
It was good, and she was good. The Buffalo Bills knocked it out of the park. I thought it was so creative. If you didn't see it, Josh Allen was just like shooting free throws on the football field, and he gets a phone call from Brandon Beane, the Bills GM, and Beane is like, hey, what the hell are we going to do for our schedule release? And Josh Allen says, oh, just use AI. That's what everybody's doing these days. And so Brandon Beane makes a phone call to Allen Iverson. I thought it was clever, thought it was funny. Allen Iverson did the Bills schedule release party. I did not see the Chiefs one. I have no idea what they did.
They don't really do much. They just hang banners. So
they do the 49ers. We just put a highlight of like the best play against that team from all eras.
Like this again. There's a theme here with teams that don't win a lot. Do big social media teams
that don't have huge fan bases want to grow a little bit.
Big social media teams.
And like even so, the Rams one is the perfect example. I'll tell you who the Rams schedule release was for. It was for me. It was for people who are my age who grew up watching Disney Channel when Brenda Song was famous. Like it was trying to get that demographic of people to watch this video to be like, oh, I remember her, because it's not like she's been doing anything lately. And so trying to get the 25 to 35-year-olds to be fans of their team. That's the point of these schedule releases, for you to say, oh, that's kind of cool. But to your point, teams with huge fan bases don't need to do that.
Did you, switching to like actual game, Monday Night Football, first?
You don't have anything on the schedule releases?
No. I think it's cool. I think it's a little overplayed, though. I think it's a little like, yeah, we
didn't even talk about the Jaguars.
Kind of cute. Sabrina.
Okay, so the Jaguars. It was TikTok only, by the way. They didn't do this on Instagram, which is a little more buttoned up. They didn't do this on Twitter. But on TikTok, the Jacksonville Jaguars. So Sabrina Carpenter's a pop singer and very attractive pop singer. And during a certain song called Juno, she comes out to the middle of the stage in her concerts, and there's a line in the song that says, "Have you ever tried this one?" And it's very cutesy how she does it. But then she drops down into some sexual position. And that's kind of the running bit on her shows, which is great. We applaud this. Body positivity, right, Sammy?
Yeah.
But the Jacksonville Jaguars go and they do their schedule release with different positions from Sabrina Carpenter's concerts. It's a crazy thing to do for an NFL team. But the Dolphins have to take theirs down, or the Colts, excuse me.
That was great. I saw that. I was like, I thought it was, my buddy sent it to me. I was like, this is fake.
I thought it was fake too. I thought it was a fan creation.
I'm like, there is no shot the social media team of the Jaguars. But hey, who's watching the like Shad Khan's really down there monitoring the social media team?
You know who's the most talked about teams today?
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jacksonville Jaguars is one. And probably the Colts are too, because theirs got taken down.
What did you feel about who didn't get a primetime game? It was the Saints didn't get one, the Browns and
Saints, Browns, Titans.
Yeah.
Chiefs got the most, and then it was a tie.
With the Cowboys.
No, the Cowboys only got 6. Chiefs got 7. And then Cowboys
there's Commanders up there. Washington got a lot. Detroit got a lot.
So Detroit, Washington, and Dallas all got 6. Chiefs got 7.
Yeah. I lost my train of thought right there.
Primetime games. Standalone games. I'm glad that it's no longer the thing where everybody has to get one. We don't need everybody to get one.
Are you just a little surprised, though, like Cam Moore, number 1 overall pick, didn't get one?
I am shocked at that.
Like the Saints, I get. The Saints are going to be awful. They're not really exciting. They don't even have that many stars on their team. Myles Garrett, I don't know what's going on there. Dude's going to waste his career away in Cleveland. I don't know what
he's going to waste it away rich. I think he'll be just fine. All right, we got Ernie Martinez coming up in a few minutes. Look, if you haven't heard from Ernie in a while, well, none of us have, and that makes me very sad. So I sent a text to my buddy yesterday, said, Ernie, what are you doing tomorrow at 1:30? He said, I'm coming on the radio with you. So Ernie Martinez coming up next on San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
This sport is sponsored by eBay. Padres got a big victory. Xander Bogaerts hit a 3-run shot yesterday to give them a series win over the Angels. They will start a series at home against the Mariners tomorrow night in the Vetter Cup. And tonight in the NBA 5:30, Thunder Nuggets potential closeout for the Oklahoma City Thunder. That game has been bet up from 4.5 favored for Oklahoma City up to 5.5. The point total has been bet down from 217.5 to 215.5. Swapping out your tires, there's nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for. From smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain, get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
It's San Diego Sports 760 here on a Thursday. Thank you for being here. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock. John and Jim will take over then. And it's been a while since I've been this excited about something on the radio. But my buddy, Ernie Martinez, is joining us today. Ernie! What's going on, pal?
Hey, a couple of things. Hey, you can answer the question after I get off the air. How do I get in the Fletch Zone? I once went to an Andrew Dice Clay concert. It was hilarious as heck. And my God, I don't think Puddles would be a nickname. Listening to you now, you should go by like Smooth Grooves or something, dude. You're all over it.
I like that. Smooth Grooves. I'm very sweaty, Ernie. You know this about me. Ernie, it's really good to hear your voice. It's great to hear that laugh. And the people of San Diego have been dying to hear that laugh for a while. But how's life been treating you the last couple of years?
It's fantastic. Still at Upper Deck, making cards, and people are still buying them. It's fantastic. And, the kids are getting older. I'm coaching my son's last year of Little League right now, and life's great.
Ernie, the coach. Oh, man. It's got to be a fun locker room to be in. Ernie, you still the biggest Padres fan in the world, or have you forsaken the team and turned your back on them forever?
Oh, no. I got the brown and gold in me. I wanted the brown and gold, and they were the blue and white. Whatever era, decade they've been, I'm a Padre at heart.
Ernie, it's great hearing your voice, dude. It's been like 10 years since I saw you, so it's the best. But how you feeling about the Padres? How you feeling about this team recently? What are your outlook for the year?
Well, I think going into the season, everybody thought this is going to be somewhat of a fallback year, and with the way things are going, and the untimely passing of Peter, it was unknown. But I'm the total Padre optimist among so many other Friar Faithful fans out there. And I just, one thing that really got me going in the positive direction is, with Manny Machado, how from the very beginning, essentially said there's a new sheriff in town. No matter what the Dodgers did, he said, the Dodgers have another thing coming out. I forget the exact quote, but that really fired me up because the way things had ended up the last couple of years, falling short of the dream that Peter Seibert wanted to see and give the city of San Diego, I thought that was Machado stepping up in a way that I personally, as a fan, had not really seen him or heard from him. And I really backed that leadership. And I just thought with the dynamic of Fernando coming back healthy, knowing that he was going to be part of this season. And I just said, if your leaders do what they have to do, everything falls in place, no matter where that talent base is. And it's a talented team. And although they didn't go out and make the big splashes like a lot of other people did, or they're Padre fans or people thought they should have, I think they've done a fantastic job. I think potentially there could be other moves. I said if the Padres are in it down the stretch run, I don't see this ownership, despite all the things and the chaos that happened there briefly at the beginning of the season. I truly believe that the Seibert family was all in it to keep that legacy that Peter Seibert wanted to see for the city of San Diego.
Ernie Martinez joining us today here on San Diego Sports 760, one of the most beloved voices, one of the most beloved laughs in San Diego sports talk history. There it is right there. You just heard it. But Ernie said something there that he said he's the forever optimist for the San Diego Padres. And Sammy, I don't think you understand how much he means that. When I first moved to San Diego, the Padres were awful, like awful, bad. And then every single day from 3 to 6, I would tune into our sports station and I would hear Ernie give these updates about how great Will Myers was in the loss, or how cool it was that they got Eric Hosmer to come over and hit 225. Like, Ernie is the actual biggest Padres optimist. So the last few years, Ernie, you're in heaven with the way the Padres have had some success.
Well, yeah, Fletch, it's, we're going through a period, and it's still new to the city of San Diego and their fan base. We've never had a stretch where the Padres have been this consistent with the talent pool that they have and bringing guys in. And I think it's a great time to be a Padre fan. And we see that every night out at Petco Park. I mean, to see the Padre fans on the road out, cheering some of the home teams that they're playing at sometimes is incredible. And that's a tribute to what Peter Seidler wanted to do and bring to the city of San Diego. And it's just a great time to be a Padre fan. You ride these things out as long as you can, because you don't know when you're going to have these stretches like that. But currently, in the moment, I love what the Padres organization is doing.
Can you speak to Jackson Merrill, the kind of rise he's on? What do you think his heights he could reach, and what he really means for this team?
I mean, I'm in the moment with guys like that. He is so fun to watch, and obviously the Padres feel that he's going to be an important asset to this franchise for the next several years. So the contract they gave him, but you just never know. Now, from what Jackson Merrill has done in the short term is incredible. He's a fun guy to watch, and that's a huge part of the excitement every night out at the ballpark. We fans who are intrigued. We want eyeballs on guys like Merrill and Arise and Machado and Fernando. To me, is still the most exciting player in the game of baseball. He is a guy that I will pay to watch at any time, and Merrill is right there. You have Fernando, where he's still a young guy, but he's at that age where he's still maturing, and Merrill is just feeding off all that, and he's so absorbed by the character of this team to where he's going to be around for a while. And I think he's going to be a darn good player. And I think we all know that.
At Ernie Martinez SD on X, you can still see Ernie's art, which he's doing all the time now. There's some great portraits of Fernando Tatis Jr. up recently. And Ernie, your daughter got to do something pretty sweet the other day. She was out on the field at a Padres game. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, that was fantastic. She helped raise a $5,000 grant for the Miracle League of San Diego, which I've been a part of for many years. The baseball league to allow people with special needs the opportunity to play baseball. And unbeknownst to me, she went out and wrote a letter on the Miracle League's behalf, because she's a volunteer herself, and she had the opportunity to go on the field and honored on a day that it was Tony Gwynn, a guy covered for 12 seasons of his career. Mr. Padre was like no other, and to be on the field, and I felt, Xander Bogaerts, still looking to get that Bogaerts that we all want him to be, and we know he can be. He had been struggling at the time, and she got to go out to shortstop with him and partnered up with him, and to see her out there at shortstop, I said she just might be the good luck charm. That night, he goes out and drives in the first run. It's a 2-run home run. And it was sort of cool to sort of feel like there was a connection there. And hopefully that will continue for not only Bogaerts, but for the Padres as well.
It's the Martinez family blessing. I think it works on just about everyone. It certainly worked on my career. I was doing nothing. And then Ernie sprinkled some of his magic dust on me, and things have been going really well for me, Ern. Before we get out of here, Ernie, is this the year it happens? Is this the year your San Diego Padres can finally get it done?
I don't guarantee a lot of things, Fletch. I may be aging myself, but 84 is the year I graduated. Last year was the 40-year anniversary of that magical run in 1984. And I put a guarantee just because the way the team was built. And I would guarantee everybody that it was going to be their year. Obviously, they fell short. So I'm not guaranteeing anything this year, but as mentioned on the onset of the interview, which I appreciate you guys having me on, I really feel this team could do something special. There seems to be something a little bit different about this team, although a lot of people don't feel they have enough talent, but I think those moves could be made depending on where they're at during the stretch run. So just sit back, relax, and let's enjoy this, and let's ride this wave all the way through October.
Ernie, I just want to say, as someone who's a massive fan of you, we have had a lot of guests on the show. I have never heard so many people come into the studio before and go, "What time's Ernie on? What time's Ernie on?" I got to make sure I can hear. Literally, the entire building is asking. So it's an honor for you to come back on the show, dude.
Well, I appreciate that. They're probably trying to track me down somehow because I may owe them money somehow from like the vending machine back in the day. But
no, Ernie, I actually think you owe him money for breaking the Christmas tree still.
That too. I'm seeing my therapist for that still to today. Now we have to go back and see him again.
That video actually just popped up somehow over on 101.5 KGB. Rich and I were just sitting there, and all of a sudden on Travis Dale's computer screen, the video of Ernie Martinez crashing into the Christmas tree pops up, and we laughed for hours, man. Ernie, you're the best. I don't know if you heard Coach on with us earlier today.
I did, yes.
Everything he said about you, I second. You are one of the best people I've ever met in this industry. You are one of the reasons that this show even exists, Ernie. I don't know that I get here or on KGB without your mentorship and your everything that you've done in radio. You're one of the most impressive human beings I've ever been around. Thank you, Ernie.
Hey, Fletch and Sammy and Marshall, great to hear from you, man, and I appreciate it. And go Pod.
All right, don't be a stranger. We're going to have you back as soon as the Padres are getting ready to go on a World Series run. Love that man, Ernie Martinez, one of the best to ever do it here in San Diego. And I love the fact that Coach, weekly guest, Steve Hartman, weekly guest. We might just have to make Ernie Martinez a weekly guest, too. One of the best to ever do it here. Good man. All right, take our final break of the day. When we come back, we're going to wrap this thing up. We got a special little ranking that we're going to do on the other side. This is the Fletch Zone on San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego FC back on the pitch Saturday night, taking on Sporting Kansas City at Snapdragon Stadium. You can hear the match live Saturday night starting at 7 o'clock right here on San Diego Sports 760. Your home for SDFC. Nice win for the boys last night over the Colorado Rapids, and they'll be back going on Saturday night. John and Jim will have a pair of tickets to give away to that show coming up, or that game coming up a little bit later on today. Now, something that just got brought to our attention over the last 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Is that Sammy and I sound like 7-year-old boys on our stream today on YouTube and on X?
Yeah, we're like a certain thing hasn't dropped yet.
Yeah. Like we haven't hit puberty yet.
Oh, yeah. So,
which honestly I find kind of adorable and hilarious at the same time. But
it's
can
kind
understand.
of amazing we have 400 people on the stream right now where we literally sound like we sucked helium for the show. So shout out to all of you for withstanding that.
What up?
We're going to have that hopefully fixed by tomorrow.
We'll see.
We'll see. Maybe we'll sound like babies.
Honestly, I it is funny.
For like 5 minutes.
For like the 5 minutes that I watched, I was kind of giggling my ass off over here. Because
you with the AI, I think you did something because you did the AI baby thing the other day. Now we sound like little kids on the stream.
Just to throw this out there, 100% of the audio that goes onto the stream comes out of that board that you're standing in front of right now. So most likely, this is going to be a problem for John and Jim as well, which I think Jim is going to be a much cuter baby than John is going to be.
Well, no, Jim was the one who texted me that this was happening. Jim is not happy. Jim is not. Let me guess. Understandably,
Jim is sulking. What else does he do? Everything can be perfect in life, and Jim would be like, "Oh, this sucks."
If you're on the stream right now, hopefully you don't think it'd be the first time that we actually sound like this because you're like, "God, these guys are annoying."
Alicia says it wasn't that bad. I didn't mind it. Thank you, Alicia.
Thank you, Alicia. Alicia's fantastic. We met her at your remote over there.
She is the GOAT. All right, Tom Pelissero had a report out a little bit earlier today saying that it's not if, but when Aaron Rodgers signs with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
God, can we get a new story?
No.
Like, Aaron Rodgers
is a Hall of Fame quarterback. We're going to talk about him when he pops up.
No, I'm not saying that to you. I'm saying just like Aaron Rodgers, it's like make a decision. It's like, dude, either go to retirement, go be with whatever actress you're dating now, or play football. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't want to play football because Pittsburgh legit has a really good roster. He might have a shot to actually do something, but he clearly is not that interested in actually playing because otherwise he would have signed by now and tried to build a team. If you're Aaron Rodgers, why wouldn't you have signed with the Steelers and said, listen, I got a diehard Steeler fan as a friend who's texting me all about this right now. Why wouldn't you have signed before they traded Pickens? Because you might have had the most dynamic receiver duo in the entire league, but you waited and they needed some picks.
What if it was Aaron Rodgers telling the Steelers, hey, if Pickens is there, I'm not coming?
Yeah. I mean, you
tell
really
me that's outside the realm of possibility?
It's not outside the realm of possibility, but
the better question would be, why not sign at the beginning of this offseason with the Pittsburgh Steelers and be like, hey, go get Devontae?
That's what I'm surprised the Chargers didn't do that. I couldn't believe you wanted to go to LA. Pittsburgh's not making a lot of sense to me because they have 12 picks next year. So they could trade up and try to go get a quarterback. They're going to have a lot of collateral, but this team, you could put a bag of Doritos at quarterback. They're going to win some games.
I would like to see that. A bag of Doritos play quarterback. That would be very fun to watch.
This defense is lethal. The defense was one of the best in the league last year. They're even better. They got Harmon in the middle from Oregon, and now you got DK Metcalf.
I think the Steelers are going to be pretty good with Aaron Rodgers. Like, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a pretty nice year. The Steelers have something that the Jets did not have, and that's an offensive line.
Yeah. I just what's taking so long? Sign or don't.
He's going to sign. This is Aaron Rodgers. He's playing games. He's trying to get this reaction out of you, Sammy. So the more you let other people determine your mental stability, the less you're going to be happy.
My mental stability is fine. I'm just letting him know that Aaron Rodgers is like, at this point, it's like, dude, you're past your prime.
All right, I'll be honest. This was one of my favorite shows we ever did, in spite of the fact that we do sound like babies on the stream. But I had a lot of fun today talking about Sabrina Carpenter, talking with the coach, talking with Ernie Martinez. I actually just got a couple of texts. Our buddy Derek Togerson, he said...
What did DT say?
With 100% sincerity, I can tell you that I've met a lot of people in this business in the last 28 years in San Diego. Ernie Martinez just might be the nicest one of them all. Nice job having him on, boys.
Man, Ernie's the best. Seriously, this is not BS. When I picked up the phone, Marshall talked to him first, and I did. Like, just his laugh, like you said,
it's infectious.
He's the greatest, man. It's Love Ernie.
My
man.
wife described Ernie Martinez perfectly. She said, if you're around Ernie and you don't have a smile on your face, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, might need medication.
Seriously, there's not too many people who have that, and Ernie Martinez absolutely does. So if you missed anything from the show today, hopefully we don't sound like babies on the podcast. I don't think we.
No, we're good on the app. Everyone's texting me right now that they thought it was just their speaker. So we've probably caused some speakers to be broken, maybe.
Good.
That's what we do here on the Fletch Zone. Quickly, you're a big golf fan. What do you think about this leaderboard right now?
I hate it. I hate it so much.
It's a pretty rough leaderboard. There's not. It's like if for a championship, it's not. There's no one really big at the top.
Look, we're carrying it on Saturday and Sunday, and you best believe I'll be listening and watching because I love the PGA Championship. It's a great tournament every single year. But I would be hard pressed to be able to name more than. Actually, I know a lot of them, but a lot of these names are names that you have not heard. Who at the top of the leaderboard? Like in first place, Ryan Gerard. I don't know.
I think this is the best thing that ever happened in golf because we're going to get Scotty at some deeper odds.
Scotty Scheffler, he was 2 under last time I looked. He finished at 2 under today. So Scotty's going to be working his way back up. Keegan Bradley's up there. He's a little bit older. Adam Scott's up there. He's been a little bit older. But man, talk about the big names that we were watching during the Masters. What made the Masters so great this year? You got to scroll a while before you get into any of them. So we'll see.
Is Oklahoma City closing out the series tonight?
Yes.
I think it goes 7. I think Denver gets a win.
OKC closes it out tonight. But I was wrong yesterday also. And by the way, each night at 10 this week, you can get a wrap up of today's action on the PGA Championship. Listen right here on San Diego Sports 760. All right, we out for today. John and Jim are coming up next. Let me know if they sound like babies too, because I think that'd be hilarious.
Jim's going to lose his mind in the first segment, and I will be tuned in.
That's all I want. Just a meltdown from Jim. Absolute meltdown.
I don't get it, man. This sucks.
Coming up next, San Diego Sports 760.